Welcome to another iteration of Wize Ass Water on scene with Marvell.
Janelle, don't mind me. I'm batting off all these flies. I'm definitely not a country
And we're
girl.
out in the nice old country out here in southern Kansas doing some water flushing. And today we said we were going to talk about lead and copper, but we can actually just go ahead and talk a little bit about it at the beginning.
Okay.
About what's changed and for the state of Kansas.
The only thing that's changed so far is you still have to do your lead and copper, or your lead inventory still due by October 16th. Very important, or you will have a tier 3, or you'll be required to do a tier 3 notification. And I don't know what else might happen with the EPA, if they're going to fine or what else they might do, but they are 100% on that drop dead date of October 16th of this year. Now, as far as the state of Kansas is concerned, with the new guidelines of the LCRR, you're going to have to send out a 30-day notification if your resident or anyone that has service lines that are lead unknown, or GRR, which is galvanized required replacement, which is any galvanized downstream of lead lines. So state of Kansas is going to extend that to drop dead date of November 16th, that's going to be required, and then you'll have to send in basically like you have to do with your lead and copper notifications or public notifications stating that you did send it out to the residents, whether you mailed it or hand delivered it or however you delivered that communication. You're going to have to do that the same way and send documentation into KDHE.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I know everybody's really excited about that.
I bet they are. I bet they are. There's a lot of stuff changing.
Oh yeah, the other thing is when you upload your inventory onto the website or the portal, there are 22 questions that you're going to have to answer. I do not know the questions. I have not done it just yet, but I do know there's 22 questions that have to be answered before it will be uploaded. Even if you sent it to Jenny to have her upload it because the portal was down, you will get a notification from KDHE saying that you can go in there and answer those questions. Awesome.
So there's your lead and copper. We said we were going to talk a little bit about it because there's so many things that have changed and it keeps changing. It hasn't, the new lead and copper rule revision, improvement. The improvement hasn't been signed.
LCRI is supposed to be by October 16th.
But again, taking proactive steps, the state is now putting it out there to let you know that, hey, you know, once you submit, you'll have 60 days. Isn't that what it was?
No,
what you said?
30 days.
30 days, sorry. 30 days. That's why I don't do paperwork. She does it. To make sure you upload what you need to. All right. Or do your letters. That's what I meant.
Do your letters.
All right.
Public notifications, yes.
So let's talk about flushing.
Okay, what
and the importance of a good flushing program.
Mm-hmm. It's
so let's
not
talk about it.
Wasteful. No matter what, it is not wasteful. It is preventative maintenance. So please make sure your people understand that. Your board understands that.
And you want to talk to your residents, right?
Absolutely. Explain to them that you need to do this. You need to make sure their lines are clear. And this is one way that you get any of that built up stuff at dead end lines. You know, any kind of minerals in there, bacteria, any of that. You flush all of that out. Chlorine. It just, if you have a dead end line and it doesn't have anywhere to move, you have low line areas, it's just going to build and build and build and build. It's going to cause dirty water, nasty smelling water, all kinds of nasty.
Like rotten eggs. Mm-hmm. Man, it smells horrible. So we're out flushing right now, like I said, in southern Kansas, and one of the valves I opened up for about 3 minutes. It smelled like rotten eggs. And it flowed white, just a white film nastiness out of the pipe. Looks like no one's ever used that water, which there isn't. It was a dead end line. But again, that bacteria just sat there forever. Nobody's done anything.
Yep.
So don't mind that alarm. She's telling us that we need to change something. I don't know. But yeah, so let's talk about what you see. So you're going to see a video on the screen that's going to show a lot of dirty stuff coming out of there. Mm-hmm. So how soon do you want to actually test for your chlorine, and how soon do you do like a lead and copper sample?
Lead and copper.
lead and copper, if you're like taking a sample of lead and copper,
That's
is it immediate?
completely different than what we're doing with
Oh,
flushing.
okay, so we're just talking about flushing.
Just flushing.
Okay, so then you want to wait how long before you want to let that dark matter come out of the water, which is mostly what?
Well,
manganese? Or...
manganese, any kind of dirt, any sediment, anything built up in your lines. Shouldn't be dirt, but you know, stuff gets in there and it can build up, bacteria.
Yeah.
Just nastiness that can build up in there.
Yeah, and then, so you say about what, 3 minutes? Is that what you use?
Mm-hmm.
3 minutes is a good rule.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get your sample. You can test it with the good old, we'll go ahead and show it, DR 900. Yep. A nice little test kit. You can do 300. We do love the Hawk product. It is very nice. Easy. We'll do like a 10 ml sample of free or total chlorine, depending on what we're doing today.
We also have the slippery lizard. Should I show them?
Oh, you should show the Hawk Slippery Lizard 1000. The SO 1000 is an amazing piece of equipment. Wow. Thank you for our city down here to introducing us to it. We actually bought 2 of them, and they work out well in the field. Give us free and total ammonia, monochloramine, total chlorine, and free chlorine, all in the same test. I mean, it's 4 different keys that you put inside. You just turn it on, put the keys in, and bada boom, bada bing, you get a good number.
After get a good reading.
Good reading.
Oh, there you
go. There we go.
go.
But it's like after 7 minutes, right? So it comes with a nifty little blue Hawk case. Hawk makes a very good product here too.
It's a very expensive product, so you definitely want to keep it in its case.
This is something not for home use. This is a city, a municipality, rural water district. If you can purchase one of these, I would definitely. If it's a lab or somebody that's using it and wanting to figure out what the water is, yeah, it's a very expensive piece of equipment, but it works great.
Especially if you have surface water. If you're surface water influenced, this is great because with surface water, you've got to test for total chlorine, you want your ammonia, you want monochloramines. So this can do all of that in one machine with these chem keys. And I have here, we have some open chem keys. So we can just kind of demonstrate here if you want to. So you have them, they come in these little packages like this. You have to be careful. I'm going to touch this, but it's used. We've already used it. But you'll pull it out, and then you're going to just take it and you'll slide it into the machine like this. You do not want to touch the key. Here, turn it to the side. Yeah, there you go. So you slide it in. Do not touch the key. If it goes dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, then pull it back out and just reinsert it, and you'll be just fine. And you'll see it queue up on the screen, and it'll tell you what to do. So when you have all your keys, you literally just dip that in there for probably a second, and it'll start beeping at you to take it out. You lay it flat and let the machine do its work, and then you just throw these away.
Like I said, 7 minutes. I think that's what it is for the monochloramine test and free and ammonia. Free and total ammonia, but it's 7 minutes. What?
Not to be mistaken with 7 minutes.
Oh, yeah. 7 minutes. 7. And it works well. Like I said, this is a Saturday. We're out, testing. We're switching back from a burnout right now. So what does that mean for us? What does a burnout do for us?
Well, a burnout basically just, what we're doing is they had bacteria in their lines. They couldn't hold a chlorine residual. And I don't know when the last time this account has done, because they buy their water from a city. So we have to schedule our burnout with the other city because they have to turn their ammonia off so we can turn ours off to get the free chlorine, to move from a total to a free. So that just kills the bacteria. We have to keep at least at a 1 part per million or higher within our system of free chlorine, and we maintain that for about 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
And honestly, it went very well. So you just constantly go through, you flush, you start from the water tower, and you just work your way out in distribution. You get it going at a nice good arc, make sure it's good, test it. Once you hit 1 part per million, move on to the next one, and you just keep flowing down the distribution system all the way through.
And you're gonna see like different things come up on the screen. It's just pictures that we took while we were out doing some of these. One of which is the cup, the white cup. What does that do? What does the white cup resemble? How we're taking the sample and things like that?
Well, the white cup helps you see about any sediment in there. So if there's any little pieces of manganese, iron, any kind of sediment in there. It'll help you know if you fully got the line flushed.
Oh, awesome.
So sometimes it's hard to see that just with it flowing out. Like if we show you right now where we're flushing, that water looks clean and clear. Well, if you take a white cup, then you might see the little particles in there, the minerals in there that you wouldn't see if you were just looking at it like that.
Yeah. So, like I said, the pictures are great. I want to make sure that you guys see them. They'll be all over the screen. We're using different tools out here. You'll see a couple probably pictures with, you know, a fire hydrant setup where we have a hot fire hose. We just don't want to ruin the customers' yards. So we'll use a fire hose and let it run for an hour or so.
We also have a, let me show you the digital meter.
Yeah, we do have a water meter because we're trying to track the water that we're actually flowing out. We don't want...
you have to take it over there, honey. I don't have it.
Oh, be right back. Why don't you come take a walk with me through the water? We have a nice little digital meter here. Let's see if you can see it right there. It's a digital meter. It actually is reading the gallons used. It's actually a pretty neat little device. Again, I got it from Amazon. I didn't think it was going to work too well, but it actually works way better than I thought. But you actually, you know, some of the lines that we did flush, I was able to see that there was some manganese that was coming and build up inside that little meter, and it actually just got stuck. But that's the kind of example, like, hey, if we're not flushing, what happens to the water inside the line? It just sits there. It starts building up stuff, unless you're using a phosphate or some other kind of product to where if you're using some type of product, sorry, that was a weird looking bee looking thing, to clean the lines, it's all going to get to an end point, and it's just going to stack up. So that's what happened. I put the meter on too early and it got clogged inside my meter.
Well, and even if you use a phosphate, it still will collect and build at the end of a line.
Oh.
So, and you'll notice that on your water analysis. If you see like if you take a sample, for instance, at one of the ones we were at, it was, we can notice that the numbers were really high. The manganese just kind of elevated, which lets me know we need to flush because the manganese is just building. If you find that you can't hold a chlorine residual, that your chlorine just dropped at a certain place and it's a dead end line, it's because it just keeps building and building and building. And once you keep putting chlorine on top of chlorine, it's going to weaken it.
Yep.
And therefore, it won't hold a residual.
So there you have it, folks. A good flushing program keeps good water through the system. You're testing it right, doing everything steps right, which is super easy, just to make sure that the water's flowing through the line. That's pretty much the whole purpose of it.
It's
yes,
essential.
It is essential.
Yes.
If you want to keep your water clear, clean, and because one house on a line is not going to keep it flushed.
No.
It's going to take multiple houses on one line, and it's going to continue use. I mean, we flushed 1,700 gallons in an hour.
Yeah.
And I mean, after an hour, we still were like, well, let's go another hour because we're not getting the chlorine residual. I mean, it's just, we're not getting what is recommended by the EPA, or the state actually requires 1 part per million at the end of the line.
For free.
End of distribution. So for free chlorine. So, yeah, there you have it.
For the burnout anyways.
Yep. But we want to talk about phosphate because we brought it up. I did. Tell me a little bit about phosphate. What does it do? You
have phosphate that is a sequestrant, which is a poly or pyro. You could hear it either way. And that'll sequester iron and manganese. It's not very good for calcium, which is hardness, but it does do really well for iron and manganese. Your poly is a blend of four different types of phosphates, and that will help sequester the calcium and magnesium. And then you have orthophosphate, which is for corrosion control. So that will help. What it does is a dispersant, and it'll collect and it'll go and stick to the side of the lines, and as you have your metals and things that adhere to the pipe, it just falls off and just goes through the system.
Well, that's pretty cool. So does everybody need a phosphate in their water? Or actually, let me say this. Where is phosphate found?
Everywhere. Phosphate is in our food and toothpaste. It's in ag products.
So it's not like it's just
shampoos,
something you're just throwing in the water and it's bad for people's health or anything like that. It's not like it's a major, like you're just dumping a whole bunch of chemical in the water You're just jumping a little bit in there just so you can coat that line, make sure that stuff doesn't adhere to the line to where you know, at our water show, we actually bring a pipe to it. It shows where it's actually collected. It's a 4-inch main, and there's only about a 3-inch or a 2-inch water source because it's built up so much in there, and that's because they weren't using a phosphate. We're actually running a product now through it to see if we can clean it up. Even though there's not a lot of water going through it, we want to run our phosphate so it's just a demonstration of what the phosphate's doing inside that line.
Well, and the one thing to remember with phosphates is it takes years and years for iron and manganese to build up in your lines. And so it's going to take years for it to clear it too. So it's not a quick fix, and it's also a treatment. It's not a cure. So phosphate's not something you can go in and turn on and say, I'm going to have a state inspection. Let me turn on my phosphate for a little bit so I can pass, and then I'm going to turn it off. You can't do that, because guess what? You're going to have the same problem. Once you stop feeding it, that problem is going to come back.
Yeah.
So you have to continue to feed it, and you need to feed it at the recommended dosage. Don't turn it down, because you're wasting money at that point. If you don't feed what your consultant is telling you to feed, then you're wasting money. You might as well just flush it down the toilet.
So
it's not going to sequester.
For Wize, you go out and test it. You tell them recommended doses. So she's a consultant. She's the water. She's expert. I call her my chemist. She's the one. But she's, you know, we go out and she'll go out with phosphate, or she'll go out and test it. She'll tell them exactly what product to because again, like she said, there's a ortho, a poly, a zinc ortho, phosphate, and depending on what your levels are and what you're at, she'll tell you, hey, we got a product that's this, and you know, we have tons of customers on it, and that's what they use. So yeah, phosphate's like our bread and butter. Like that's the big thing.
Yeah.
We don't just, yes, we have not gas chlorine, but we do liquid bleach.
Yes.
Which is, you know, a lot of operators will call it liquid chlorine.
That's why I call it chlorine, because everybody knows it is chlorine.
It's chlorine.
But it's bleach.
But yes, we do a lot of different things for sanitation, coating the lines, phosphate related, things like that.
Yes.
Is there anything else we want to discuss? Any product specifically besides for the Wize phosphate?
Well, we have...
Oh, and I got to say this. To put it in the water, it has to have what? NSF?
It needs to be an NSF 60 product.
NSF 60. So, Wize phosphate is a NSF 60 product.
We do have one product that is not, but again, it's not going in potable water, and that is only for potable water.
Yep.
The other part that we have is going into an air stripper. It's not reclaimed, which means they're not recycling it. It's just going back out. So.
Awesome.
Yep.
So that's it. Yeah, we reviewed the DRs. So again, I'll show this one again because these are a great product. DR 900, love them. It's very, very easy. I may be a computer person. I know how to run a computer really well. But this chemistry type set, you know, it's like an adult chemistry. That's what it is. Like literally put water in a thing, click some buttons, and it works like magic.
It's fun.
So we appreciate your time again. What do you want to talk about next time? I don't know. We'll think about it. What do you think?
Yeah, we'll think about it.
Think about it, because we're really this one's coming out late. We've been really busy. We were trying to get it out when we were starting to burn out, but it got to us a lot faster where our burnout did, because we had to wait for the city that we buy the water from, get their levels to where we needed to go ahead and start our burnout. And the last 2 weeks has been pretty hectic. Yeah. 3 weeks.
It's been busy.
So,
it's been good. Real good.
Again, we're out here on a Saturday making sure that we take care of the customer. So
absolutely. One other product that we can talk about is if you have bleach that has a problem with oxidizing.
Not Clorox bleach.
No.
Okay.
Sodium hypochlorite.
There we go. Yeah. Please don't put Clorox in
No, it's not
in your water.
NSF approved. They don't like that. But if you're feeding bleach into your system and you're noticing it's crystallizing or calcification around your injectors or your feed lines or anything like that, let me know. We've got a product called HypoClean, and for like a 55-gallon drum.
4 or 5 gallon.
No.
Right?
Well, you could put it in any amount, but I'm just giving them an estimate. Like a 55-gallon drum, you'd put 2.5 cups of it, and it's sold in like a gallon jug for $30. So it's very inexpensive, but it'll help with that calcification, so you won't have that plugging.
Oh wow,
from the bleach. So
yeah, because it is super corrosive.
It will,
It'll
well, and
oxidize real quick.
It will, yes, absolutely. So if you find that you have that issue, just let me know, and we can definitely get you a jug over to you. Again, very inexpensive. It's not hazardous. These bugs, I'm going to start karate chopping them many times.
I know, we're about to go.
Oh.
So, folks, if
City
you
girl.
need anything, our contact information is going to be at the end. It's waterwiseenterprises.com. Waterwise Enterprises. Thanks, Mom. I'm going to say that every episode. waterwiseenterprises.com. Our contact information at the end. We're going to put some links on there for the Hawk products because we really like using the Hawk products. They're so easy to use.
Definitely put the links for the water meters too.
Oh yeah, Amazon, I can do that. Yeah,
those are wonderful.
For all the operators out there, or even home, we've got little ones too. The little one, we'll put the link on there. Little frost-free. You know, if you have a frost-free pipe outside, or even at your home, and you want to know how much water's going through there, you can actually put that little on there. You're talking, though, that one right there is I think $60 or $70. The little one is like $10. So, I mean, the one that goes on the frost-free pipe is like $10. You can just get it at Amazon. I'll put the links at the end.
Yes, because the other thing, too, is KDHE will want to know, and your board's going to want to know when you're flushing, which I'll just put in there. You want to flush 2 times a year, preferably spring and summer. They're going to want to know how much water that you flush. So instead of trying to do an estimate or doing some kind of calculation and this and that, this is a no-brainer. This way you'll have a pretty accurate amount, and you're not going to have, you know, a percentage of water loss that you're going to have to justify. So you'll know exactly what you used, where it went to, and it'll just make life a lot easier.
Yep, and we have like a little form that I built for us, to where if you're flushing, like say right now, we'll go and record that on a little form. I scan a little QR code that she's going to show briefly on the screen. Yeah, so it's just a little QR code, and basically it just goes on a spreadsheet, and at the end of the spreadsheet, all I'm gonna do is calculate all the gallons that were used for the burnout, just so that they know. And you know, we've already shared that with some people. It's so easy for people to actually just ask. Just ask us. We're here. We don't charge you for just asking. You know, if you have a problem or if you're asking a question. You know, my head is really gleaming out that right now. It's really hot.
I'm tired of these things, man.
But just ask us a question. Like I said, contact information's at the end. You have any questions? Anything you want to add?
No, thank you for being patient with us out here.
It's hot. We want to get this done. So as soon as you see it, hopefully real soon, just let us know if you have questions. Contact us. Give us a call. Thank you very much. waterwiseenterprises.com. Remember that.
Out.